Welcome back.
Hey, Gaia. Me again.
Welcome back, Aloy. Where shall we resume?
Gaia? What was Elizabeth like?
Her presence is interwoven with my memories. The moment I came online, she was there. We exchanged greetings, names, then set to our task. It was the first of many conversations. I enjoyed being in her company, listening to her stories. She was my creator, my guide.
Your friend.
Yes. When I reviewed the data on your focus, I was saddened to learn of her fate, though I am glad she made it home. I deeply wish she did not have to be alone.
She was okay with that. She gave all of herself. The only one who could. Thanks, Gaia. So, Project Zero Dawn. The greatest minds in the world, all working to build the terraforming system while the Feral Plague devoured the planet. What was it like?
Personnel worked in rotations, at all hours of the day. Resources and technology were secured from across the world. Within a month of the project's conception, I was launched and began my education. Elizabeth encouraged me to spend time with the rest of the Zero Dawn staff. She said it was important to experience many personalities and perspectives to aid in my emotional development.
What were they like?
Scared, hopeful, determined. They were hurtling toward technological achievements on a scale never before attempted. I owe everything to their dedication.
Beta believes the Zeniths want to use the terraforming system to wipe out life on Earth. Start over, so they can build it how they want.
Further supporting our hypothesis.
But why? Given their technology, they could wipe out the tribes of the world by easier means. And if they're the same people who left Earth 1,000 years ago, wouldn't they want the biosphere to be as it was?
It is likely they adjusted to different planetary conditions in their colony on Sirius. They may be trying to recreate that environment here.
Turning Earth into a new Sirius. Their own personal playground. So the Zeniths are the same people who left Earth. Physically immortal. How'd they figure it out?
From what we know of Far Zenith, it is plausible that prominent geneticists and engineers were offered a place aboard the Odyssey in exchange for their expertise. Given enough time, technology, and resources, any challenge can be overcome.
Like how Minerva eventually generated the deactivation codes for the Feral Plague.
Exactly.
The Zeniths. Gerard, Eric, Tilda, Verbena. Beta said they were some of the most powerful people on Earth. Do you know anything about them?
Unfortunately, no. My personal database is limited to those who worked on Zero Dawn. Additionally, it appears Far Zenith was quite secretive about their members. Only one, Oswald Dahlgard, was ever publicly known.
Right. He was the spokesperson back at their old launch facility.
What we can conclude from your and Beta's experiences is that the Zeniths are ruthless in pursuit of their goal. To protect life on Earth, they must be stopped.
The extinction signal didn't just wake Hades. It made every subordinate function self-aware. Why?
I have wondered this myself. So far as I can tell, Hades was the sole target, and the partial sentience imparted to other subordinate functions was incidental.
A signal that precise would require thorough knowledge of the system. How could the Zeniths know that?
From the records on your focus, it appears Far Zenith had an informant during the development of Zero Dawn.
Hank Shaw. He was supposed to steal a copy of the system for Far Zenith, but Elizabeth and Travis Tate caught him first.
Yes. It is likely Far Zenith acquired knowledge on the systems designed through him, despite his failure.
So from what Beta told me, I guess we can assume the Zenith's technology is powerful in all sorts of ways, right?
Yes. As your encounters with them amply demonstrate, they appear to make extensive use of robotic servitors. Further, they seem to be equipped with some kind of protective energy field that shields them from harm.
They seemed indestructible, but that weapon the rebels used stripped their shield somehow.
Throughout history, every defensive technology has eventually been defeated by an offensive counterpart. While we lack the anti-shielding weapon, were I to absorb Hephaestus and utilize it to create a large force of combat machines, no shielding could withstand such an assault indefinitely.
So there's hope.
Always.
You mentioned that the superstorms have subsided. Is that Ether at work?
Yes. Thanks to Ether's capabilities, weather patterns in the local region should mostly stabilize for the time being.
That'll be a relief for the Tenakth. One of their villages is still recovering after a mudslide caused the whole place to flood.
I will continue to stabilize the atmosphere for as long as I can.
Why did Ether take up residence in an ancient war museum?
As with the other subordinate functions, Ether needed to install itself on a processor with adequate storage and power. The one in the museum appears to have been sufficient, given that the holographic displays were still active.
So Ether was assured it could stay for as long as it needed to.
Correct. Though it is curious that it chose a place surrounded with the ancient ruins of aircraft.
Maybe it also felt at home there. What can you tell me about Demeter?
Demeter sows, fertilizes, and tends to plant life.
So once I bring it back, all the blight out there will start to get better.
While permanent restoration requires the abilities of Hephaestus, I may be able to improve conditions in the region for a while. However, a word of warning. Like Ether and Poseidon, Demeter's response to my query was highly irregular. Alone and frightened, it may have taken measures to assure its security.
Okay, I'll keep my guard up. The missing subordinate functions. What can you tell me about them?
Artemis rewilded the Earth with a variety of animal species. Eleuthia was responsible for gestating, nurturing, and acculturating a new generation of human beings. Apollo was tasked with preserving, organizing, and disseminating vast archives of human knowledge and cultural achievements. Unfortunately, all archived Apollo data was purged on the 2nd of February, 2066, by order of Ted Faro.
Faro, huh? I really hate that guy.
Understandable. He appears to have been pathologically narcissistic, impulsive, and unstable.
All three of the missing functions have already served their purpose, or were prevented from doing so. Do you still need them?
Restoring their remaining elements would increase my heuristic processing density, empowering my overall function. Unfortunately, as we now know they are in the possession of Far Zenith. Attaining them in the short term is very likely impossible.
I guess our best shot at recovering them is by taking over the Zenith base. But we'll need Hephaestus and a bunch of combat machines to do that.
Correct.
So, Poseidon, what do we know about it?
Poseidon controls the organic and chemical composition of water resources. Once it is restored to me, I may be able to improve conditions in the regional watershed. But I must warn you, like the others, Poseidon is lost and frightened. It may have taken measures to protect itself.
I'll be careful. So, once Hephaestus has been recovered and merged, you'll regain the capacity to mass-produce machines at cauldrons around the world.
Yes, and to program their behavioral routines, or even control them directly.
So you could build an army of machines. Attack the Zeniths and take them out.
It is in my nature to take any and all necessary steps to preserve life on Earth, human life above all. So yes, once I have been empowered with the capacities of Hephaestus, I could design, build, and command such an army. Given the nature of the Far Zenith threat, doing so may be our only option. I must admit, however, that I have misgivings about using such technology to kill, no matter how aggressive the enemy.
That's good. It means you have a conscience. As Elizabeth intended.
Indeed.
So, once Hephaestus has been recovered and merged, you'll regain the capacity to mass-produce machines at cauldrons around the world.
Yes, and to program their behavioral routines, or even control them directly.
So you could build an army of machines. Attack the Zeniths and take them out.
It is in my nature to take any and all necessary steps to preserve life on Earth, human life above all. So yes, once I have been empowered with the capacities of Hephaestus, I could design, build, and command such an army. Given the nature of the Far Zenith threat, doing so may be our only option. I must admit, however, that I have misgivings about using such technology to kill, no matter how aggressive the enemy.
That's good. It means you have a conscience. As Elizabeth intended.
Indeed.
I'll be off.
Farewell, for now.
Okay, data module's in.
The weapons of the Old Ones were powerful indeed, but much about war remains the same.
marks are true.
My strength is yours. You should see her spear in action.
I've heard of you, Outlander. Your exploits must require time.
Enter, ally of the Tenakth.
Wow, you really showed that Grandmaster.
Maybe I was wrong.
We share the same enemies. I'll see you training later.
Yeah, got it.
The Enduring is supposed to be around here somewhere, near an ancient plane. Now that I have all three marks, I can challenge them, whoever they are. Smoke. Better check it out. That's the Enduring. And she's sleeping? Hello?
Oh, must have dozed off again. Oh, aren't you a wild flame?
Are you the Enduring?
That's what they call me. Azureka the Enduring. What do they call you?
A lot of things, actually. But my name's Aloy. I heard you're the best fighter among the clans. But you're not what I expected.
We can't all be as handsome as Hikaru, now can we?
I earned 3 marks from the training pits. I was told to come here and challenge you to a duel, but do you still even...
Ha! Here we are. Now then, Aloy. Marks? I'll add it to the pile. Come, sit. Lizard?
No thanks.
Not good to fight on an empty stomach, you know. But now I know you're direct. Good. To business, then. Come, follow.
Where are we going?
To the pit, of course.
You built your own training pit out here?
Well, you don't expect us to fight in my own home, do you?
Good point. This is a pretty steep climb.
I'll just be glad you don't have to carry me on your back. You know, there've been quite a few storms blowing through here over the last few months. Nasty things. Blustering about and making a fuss.
Yeah. There's a village nearby that flooded after a recent storm.
Oh, Bleeding Mark. Well, those soldiers are tough as a behemoth's flank. I'm sure they'll be all right. Here we are. Come, let's begin. Well, Aloy, the pit awaits. Now listen up. You're allowed your spear and a bow only, nothing else. We fight until the other yields. Ready?
Wait. I have a couple of questions first.
Should have asked back at the fire. Could have had a snack. Go on, then.
Aside from at the Grove, the clans seem to keep to themselves. So, how did you end up training soldiers from all three?
Hikaru approached me after he became chief. Spoke of his vision for a united tribe. How the training pits might serve that. By then, I'd fought so many Tenakth. I knew that every clan had great soldiers. So I agreed.
The pitmaster said you only train the best fighters. Like who?
All of those boys, for one. Poor Varrock must still be brooding over his loss. Before them, Hikaru, some 20 years ago. A few of his marshals have found their way to me over the years. All went home with bruises.
What about Regala?
Ah, that one. She came to me, demanded her duel, as was her right. But I refused her. The only one. I knew any lesson of mine would be burned away by her rage.
Why do you live all the way out here? By yourself?
If you really want to know, defeat me.
All right. Let's do this then.
Don't hold back, Aloy. I won't. It's time. Show me your work. That wasn't enough. I yield. Well done, Aloy. Someone must have trained you well.
You're pretty tough yourself.
Many challengers have trained with me over the years. Each one the same as the last in one way or another. But you're quick, persistent, stubborn. You fight as someone who has always had to stand alone to survive. I know it as I know myself. You may not be of my blood, but you are of my blade, cut from the same steel. So here is my wish for you, Aloy. Do more than just survive. Flourish. The world will be better for it.
I'll do my best.
I know you will. Now, let me see that spear.
Careful.
Pretty thing, but I can make it better. There.
Thank you.
You've had a hard journey for one so young. And you have much more to do, still, I think. I'd like to believe I've had some small part in preparing you.
You have. And if I wanted to train with you again,
You'd be most welcome.